Greetings! Welcome to another ship build from Nekosai. I am Nekosai, and today we're going to be building my version of a USS Defiant. Like previous builds, we will need to do some offsetting. But again, no mods, as I am certainly trying to be a zero mod required builder. And the offsets are things that should be capable on every single system, as they are easily doable on the PlayStation 5. Alright, let's get started. First off, we're going to want a Magfield landing thruster. And we're going to put that one in front of the cross. Next up, we go to our Habs. I am personally going to use the Ambassador-Class Habs, because once again, the Defiant is a classy ship. We're going to put Habs on either side of that one, and then two in the back. Next up, we're going to put on a Titan-class landing bay. Though honestly, you could use an Ambassador class or a Thunderbird class if you like. It all works the same in this build. It's pretty much a hidden access. And again, you can do the same with your cockpit. Doesn't matter which one you use, it's actually going to be hidden away. Okay, so we've added all that in. Next we're going to put in an Azimuth-Class Reactor. I'm going to stick it in behind our access point. Then we're going to grab Zenith-Class Reactors and slap 3 of them on the back like so. Next up, we are going to add on 2 heavy linkages. And then we're going to do 2 Vesper Diffuser Rims, one on either side of those linkages. Now let's add on a walkway, doesn't matter what. We're going to place it up on top like so. We are going to do some offsetting with this using our ducting outlet to place it in this position. And we delete the ducting outlet. Next, we are going to grab a Speedbird Dome Rim. We're going to place one at the end like so. Another one like so. Another one there. Delete that. And place that one there. Next up, we are going to place a Longshore Cowling. So that covers up that one reactor there. Now I want to do some more offsetting. So we're going to grab another Ambassador class walkway, or any walkway for that matter. We're just going to place it on the end there like so. Then we are going to grab a rock hopper propeller module, because we want it to move this forward a little bit. Quick reminder, this rock hopper offset only works on this side of habs and walkways, and because I misplaced it, I need to make a copy of the walkway one more forward. So what I want to put on there is the swept casing. 1, 2 swept casings. We're gonna get this over onto the other side. Delete the 2 we've just added in. And get more swept casings on this side. And then we can finish that off with a Vesper Aerofoil. Now, a little bit more offsetting again. Any walkway will do. I'll place our walkway here. You want a ducting outlet on front to bring it down. Because it needs to be a half and half. I use the rock hopper module. To move it back one. And as I duplicated that walkway, I'm going to have to delete the other one. Let's make a duplicate and get it copied across to the other side. Delete the extras. Now we're going to add on Hardframe Difuser Rim. We want one up there. We want one below. The other one attached. Like so, like so. Good. You can delete those walkways. Next up, Hardframe Cowling. On the top. Sunken in a little bit. So we're connecting those rims. And again, on the bottom. So far, so good. Now, we're going to grab the Speedbird Dome Rim. We're going to place one on each side of those habs, like so. Next up, another Vesper Diffuser Rims. On the sides of the cockpit, like so. Next, we want to grab another walkway, doesn't matter which, because we're going to offset it by 1/2. Offset it. Place it in front, duplicate it, and then we want to add on Vesper Diffuser. either end like so. And the Vesper Cowling in the center. Let's delete the walkways on the end. Next up, we want to grab our rock hopper again. Move that walkways forward 1/2. Make a duplicate, stick it there. Now we want to take the ducting outlet, put it on the front of that walkway there, move that walkway down, move the ducting outlet to the side, move the walkway underneath again, delete that, bring back our rock hopper propeller module. And we want to move this back. And then we can place another one alongside it there. What we're doing with this is we are adding in 3 swept casings, but we're turning them upwards. We want them to overlap, like so. That's going to be our main deflector. As shown over there. Now, aim carefully. You can delete that walkway that's in the center here. And you can move that walkway inside up on top. You can delete that walkway that is hiding there. Duplicate that walkway, put it in behind, delete that walkway. We're going to grab the rock hopper again, position it backwards. Duplicate the walkway, place it next to the other walkway. And then we are going to grab our Supercruise Cowling. Put one on each side, like so. We can delete those walkways. And on the side, we're putting on our Supercruise Aerofoils. Well, we might as well use those to help us realign next bit. We'll put a walkway back in there again. We want the rock hopper to move it back by 1 again. Now we might lose it if we do it straight through like that. So let's build these around. So we've got two at the bottom like so. Okay. And delete those ones. Can actually delete those ones up top. And under here, we are going to put down a couple more Supercruise Cowlings. And we can delete those walkways. And we can put in something with a bit of texture, say these Argonaut Hydrolics. We'll use those to finish up that area. And then we'll put some Supercruise Aerofoils on those. And some Argonaut Aerofoils on the back. Now, let's move this for a brief moment, because we can add in another reactor to help us get some more stats up. We'll put that right in front of the cockpit. We can move this piece back into position. Now, for the warp drive and the Bussard collectors. The wings, I guess you can call it. So to start, let's grab some reinforced hull links. 3 out. Now, we want an engine. So we're going to use the Longshore Thruster first, place it at the end. Now to help us build, next we are going to grab the Argonaut fuel cover, and we are going to place them on the bottom of the wings. Three across, like so. And 3 more underneath here. can now delete those two hull links. We're going to grab an Ambassador class walkway, or any walkway, doesn't matter. Put one on either side where those links were. Grab a ducting outlet. Put one on top of each of those walkways. Move the walkways outwards one. Move the ducting outlet to the front. Move those walkways to position like so. We can delete those ducts. Next, we're going to grab a rock hopper module. And move those habs forward one. Onto the back of those walkways, we're going to place an industrial joint. So we should have an industrial joint overlapping a link right now on either side. That is where we are going to place our weapon systems. We'll be using the Deadeye Cannon. Or you can use whatever weapon system you prefer. The Deadeye Cannon, in my opinion, is more along the lines of the weapon system that the Defiant has, as they fire all four simultaneously, just like the Defiant, and we can position them on top and bottom just like they are in the Defiant. And if you install 3 of these bad boys and get some S-Class and some forbidden technology, as well as put them into some overcharged slots, these things will do some serious damage. Let's grab another walkway. Actually, I'm probably going to need to put it on top since that engine is there. And we're going to move that forward another half. Once again with our rock hopper. Not there, no. Now we can duplicate that, one underneath, and again there. Delete the upper one. And we are going to place a Widebody Thruster there. Yeah, we're using the Widebody Thruster because we want more maneuverability. So we can delete walkways. And now we can add in a Ceto-Class Reactor to help with the shield strength. Can sink it in just a little tiny bit. It helps it not protrude out from anything that we're going to add on top. Another one over here. Slightly sunk in. You shouldn't be able to see it over here. Yep, perfect. Good. And for the last few pieces, Supercruise Cowlings. Place them over the wings like so. Where are they? Argonaut Cowlings. And then to finish it off, more Supercruise Cowlings down below. And there you have it. Paint the colors blue and light gray, but inverted. Except for these guys. These guys, we make gray and dark gray. Let's see if I can select the one in the middle. There it is. There we go. Good. Finalize the design. So there is a minor design change we can do with this. The one that I made I don't have those linkages here. Instead, I have heavy linkages there. And I've also got linkages inside here, which help kind of fill up the space a bit. I suppose if you want two more parts to work with, you could remove the two that were in there. Can't really see them anyway. You can even potentially make a window into there to have kind of some kind of view of the engines, I guess. That's all possible. Anyway, let's get on with the detailing. Now on top, I put a single solitary white light. you might find it easier to do any kind of edits like this in first-person mode. So I'm going to add a white light onto the top. I'm trying to get it as centered as we can. The idea that is essentially the bridge. So that'll be the light on top of the bridge. Okay. Next we can do some very simple accent lighting. We grab blue light and we find roughly the center of this panel here. Place one there. If you notice, it's at the very center of that line above. And we can use that to help orient where the light goes at the other side. Roughly in the center of the engine. In line with this line on the top and bottom. We can do that on the other side as well. Perfect. Now we need a representation of the impulse engines. Grab a red light, and we can use this area here as a start off. I would just put 3 lights like so. Try and squeeze a light in. In the center. And maybe do some rotating and round it out a bit. That's going to be to your taste, of course. So you can do that on both sides. Now I didn't put blue lights all up in here for the warp engines, because that could be a little awkward with getting them set up in there. I suppose you could put some flat panels along here, maybe. And attach lights to them. To help fill out the idea. And then delete the flat panels. Unless you can get the flap panels in behind, probably not. That's up to you. I didn't. I felt that having just the engines there were enough to create the idea of the warp engines. We do need Bussard collectors though. And for that I went with a shelf panel. I scaled it up, angled it as best I could to match along here. That looks pretty darn good. And then I used the circle of this link here, and the line right above where my X is to judge how big to make the panel, placing that corner in the center of the circle. Then you can take your red lights, angle it, and carefully place them inside the shelving unit. Maybe do a bit tidier job than me, but you get the idea. It's nice and finicky. But that's how I did the Bussard collectors. As for the main deflector, these arrows were very helpful. You grab a blue light, start them on the arrow for the center portion of the deflector dish. Since it kind of tapers in, I went down one row and started inwards by one. So I only went down 2 rows though, because the other pattern, it's again starting on the triangle, goes across, then down 2, whereas over on this side, goes down and over by 2, and then comes back. Whereas this side ends 1 in. So then you would fill this all in. And then you repeat reverse on this side. So you do that. Now, one more thing you can do is highlight where the weapons fire out of. On my build, I went and grabbed a lab lamp and scaled it to be just inside the barrel of the cannons here. Which works really well. And I painted them orange. Can duplicate. Attach those to where our cannons are. And once you get those little details done, you have your Defiant. And when you upgrade your ship to full S-Class and open up all of its slots, get the right technologies in there, you can end up with a very powerful starship. Now let's see if I can get into a battle. There we go. Perfect. Warp initiated? No. Oh, We are not boarding. We are destroying. Thanks for watching.